Hello everybody. Today I have the opportunity to present one of the shining stars of our VCRCN fraternity, Sri Senthil Nathan S, 4th batch VCRCN from Southern Railway. Sri Senthil is an IRS of 2000 batch and presently posted at New Delhi as Director, Department of Commerce on CSS deputation. Due to his dedication and hard work, he has achieved many laurels. So I welcome Sri Senthil for today's Rubaru.
Very warm greetings to all fellow VCRCians. I was pleasantly surprised when one of the members of the team behind the VCRC.in portal approached me with the suggestion that I share some of the thoughts with fellow VCRCians through the portal.
According to you, what makes a VCRCN click and stand out in whichever field he is in?
Friends, as VCRCians, we all share a more or less common journey right from our school days. But what is common to all of us VCRCians is pretty unique when compared to the classmates that we have from other groups from school. As VCRCians, once we complete our 12th standard, we are given this unique opportunity to join an organization called Railways, which is an ocean in itself in terms of the number, the sheer number, and the kind of employees that we would be working with. Besides that, and more importantly, when we join as VCRCians into the Railways, we are given this opportunity to work as booking clerk issuing tickets across a counter, as parcel booking clerks, or a goods booking clerk, or a ticket examiner who is going to be traveling on a train or stationed in a particular railway station. We get to do a lot of public interaction on a daily basis and interacting with a wide variety of persons who have their own set of expectations from each of us, and trying to fulfill those expectations with what we do on a daily basis is no small feat. And I believe this is a very important element that shapes each of us. And this is an important element that sets us apart from most of our counterparts in whichever organization that we are working in. And this is an important element which shapes us to be better leaders and better communicators, and in this way contributes to our success in whichever setup, whether it is any organizational setup or even an interpersonal setup that we might come across on any given day. When we, as very young persons right out of school, joined Railways, it was with the idea that VCRCians would infuse fresh blood, energy, and thought process into an organization which is as old as ages, if you have to think of it that way. And to a large extent, each of us have fulfilled this mission of being a VCRCN and trying to create our own vibrant zone wherever we have worked, in whichever position that we have worked. And right from the first day, I'm sure with our curiosity to learn what is around us, we have tried to change the work situation, workplace for the better. And I think this has a rub off effect on all our colleagues. And similarly, when we interact with colleagues who have tremendous experience, so to say in railway terms, when we join, so many of us say that my experience is more than your age. So when you interact with people like that, they bring in their own set of experiences, their rich knowledge, plus they also have their own personal baggage. Every person is a package. They bring their own set of desires, ego, motivations, and many other elements. And when you interact more and more with such persons, and persons who come to interact with you just for a fraction of a time for conducting the transaction, we are like a rough diamond which is getting polished with each such interaction. And I believe in doing so, we are getting better in our interpersonal communication skills, in our management skills, in managing our work schedule on a daily basis, in managing our communication with our colleagues on a daily basis, because that is a very important element from my personal experience, and I'm sure with so many of you also. You have to interact and have a good working relationship with all your colleagues, because you have multiple pursuits of your own self. It might be like you are pursuing your own professional education, your college degree by the distance education mode, and many other even personal other requirements. You have to have a very good working relationship with your colleagues to ensure that your scheduling of all those and your pursuit of all those objectives are not hindered by you working on a daily basis in a railway station or any other organizational place that you have been posted in. So I believe right from the day go, we have been primed to be better team members, better leaders by these interactions, and these happen at a time when we are primed to learn and make the most out of all these educations. And when it is a practical education like what we get as VCRCNs, it is all the more invaluable, because by the time our friends pursuing other courses go through the college, maybe even do higher education, do their postgrad or whatever, and come and join the work, by that time, maybe the 5 6 years, we are already rich in experience. And I feel this is something which would set us apart, and which sets us apart on a daily basis, whether in an organizational setup or in an interpersonal setup. And this marks an important point where we build the foundations for our leadership skills, our communication skills, and our troubleshooting skills.
Few of our brothers has made an effort to create a website for VCRCN. Your comments, your valuable suggestions to improve this website and strengthen our brotherhood.
I would like to congratulate the entire team behind the VCRC.in portal for conceptualizing and commissioning it. And I was also told this entire effort has been by VCRCNs without engaging any other help from any outside sources. And it's a testimony that the skills, the wide variety of skill sets that VCRCNs have, and also a testimony to the fact that when we as VCRCNs set our mind to any target, we go out and achieve it, no questions asked. So it is the effort of this team and support from all of us, that we continue to remain connected as fraternity of VCRC, and continue to engage in efforts to connect with each other, and also connect for doing things which are meaningful for ourselves and for the society as a whole. So I am sure this VCRC.in portal and the team would expand to further horizons, and would enable us to connect better and do better for ourselves and for the society that we live in, and enable to take the flag of VCRC to much greater heights. All the very best, and once again, hearty congratulations to the entire team of VCRC.in. And I thank each one of you profusely for bringing me together and allowing me to share my thoughts with each one of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Please tell us about your journey from a VCRCN to an IRS. What struggle you have faced during the journey? Your message to our next gen VCRCN.
Friends, I am from a lower middle class family from Chennai. My father was a fitter in the Integral Coach Factory, Perambur. My mother was a teacher in a government aided middle school. I was the third child after two sisters. It was sheer coincidence mixed with a lot of divine blessings that I could actually become a VCRCN. A friend in 10th standard brought the application for VCRC examination and suggested, let us try writing a common competitive examination even before we write our board examination. That is how I could write this examination. And as I told you, it's a mix of a lot of luck, divine blessing, and coincidence that I could get through this examination and begin my journey as a VCRCN. I belong to the fourth batch of Southern Railway, which completed its course between 94 to 96. And in the Southern Railway, there was a considerable delay for our batch. We completed our course in March 96, but we could get posting in railways only in March 98. So after completing the course, that was on 15th of March was our last examination. I still remember it quite well. On 15th of March, we completed this. And even while we are pursuing this course between 94 to 96, I was interested in computer science, and I had joined a 1 year course during our 12th standard, that's the between 95 to 96. I had pursued a 1 year course in computer science programming in one of the private institutes. And when I completed that course, which almost coincided with the 12th standard, after that, seeing that there is a delay before we get a posting in railways, I decided to continue my further education. I joined a BBA through distance education mode in the Madras University. And within couple of weeks of completing the examination, that is 15th of March was the last examination. By 30th of March, I started with a private company through one of my family friends, who suggested, rather than waiting for a job from railways and whiling away your time at home, why don't you get some work experience? So I joined a private company in Chennai, and it was like a very strange experience to begin with, because it was a company which was engaged in two primary businesses. One is they have this large tank terminals in most of the major ports in India, which they lease out to third parties, and they are also in the business of purchasing molasses from sugar mills and exporting to breweries abroad. So when this family friend, who happened to be in the finance section of the company, suggested that why don't you come and join this company, I tried joining, and I was told by the head of personnel that we don't have a position that is right for persons like you who are right out of school. In any case, we will let you join. We will give you a small stipend, because you can't expect a big salary given your educational background. We will let you learn with us, and we will see what best fit that you can get in terms of the organizational position, and accordingly take it forward. So 15th of March, I complete my board examination. By 30th of March, I joined a company that was my first employment, with a stipend which was, I felt, was a royal stipend of 975 rupees at that point of time. So that was my first brush with a lot of things that I come to value now. You get to interact with people in a professional settings, and you get to be independent in terms of what you learn, how much you learn, and what kind of intensity you put into what you learn, and how you kind of apply it. That was an eye opener in multiple ways. That was the first time I came across what is internet. Good old dial-up internet. I came across multiple new things. I came across telex machines. I came across fax machines. And when I joined this place, I was thinking, like, given my computer science experience and my interest in programming, this place would help me learn programming or apply my programming skills. But it so happened it's not a software company. It was a company which was having two main streams. One, it was in the trading of molasses. They buy molasses from the sugar mills and export it to breweries in the foreign countries. And they are also having a lot of tank terminals, large liquid tank terminals across major ports in India, and they lease it out to third parties. So this is a company which was called Indian Molasses Company Limited, based out of Chennai. And there, I quickly understood that this is not a place where I can learn programming, or even kind of build upon my programming skills. And I understood that they mainly are looking at processing skills in terms of information technology requirements. So there, I had to relearn parts of my computer course which were least interesting, like how to work with WordStar. MS Word was much later, so how to work with WordStar, how to work with Lotus 123. these were parts which were having very little programming implication, so I didn't concentrate so much when my computer course was being taught to me. But these are things I relearned there, and slowly but surely I started doing bits and pieces of data entry, and slowly I also started learning very important software, Tally, there. So slowly I started making myself useful to the organization, so they entrusted with me with small bits and then larger bits, then more and more of work, to the extent that they could let me handle as a independent accounting person for a particular part of their business, of course under the supervision of their manager. And I could also improve upon my skill sets on this, because they used to have this good old financial accounting finalization. They used to do in Excel sheets, Lotus 123. There I came across like my first brush, just as I had my first brush with internet and telex and fax machines. I also had my first brush with MS Excel, MS Word, and I taught myself MS Excel there. Also another prior software called Quattro Pro. But the thing is, when I learned Excel from the software itself and some books which I could get my hands on, I could kind of transform their financial reporting from Lotus 123 to Excel, and try to, in a very simple terms, if you have to say, like, you have multiple schedules of financial reporting where you kind of take figures from the individual schedules, build it into the profit and loss and the balance sheet. I could kind of put it on multiple Excel worksheets in a single workbook, link them up such that any amendment in a one part can be reflected in another part. This was quite interesting for them also, like, because they were doing it in much more cumbersome manner using Lotus 123, amending multiple documents multiple times. So when this could be like upgraded into MS Excel, where you can link these values across multiple worksheets, so this kind of eased the process quite a bit. It was a learning for me. It was like very enriching learning for me, and they found it like very useful for their processes. And one good thing I had with working with that private concern is, and this was like highly confidence boosting, that irrespective of what is your educational level, I was just a 12th standard pass out. I didn't even I haven't even completed my first year in degree. They value you for the skill sets that you bring, they value you for the attitude you bring, they value you for what you can deliver. So this was something which was very important in a private setting. And when you are valued at such a young age, that does a great boost to your confidence, and the way you interact with people, the way you kind of learn further and show the intensity in learning newer things and trying to apply them on a day-to-day basis. So that was a great experience for me from March 96 till the time I joined Railways in March 98. I moved from a stipend of 975 till a salary of some 3,000 or odd. There, the work experience, I still hold it very close to my heart because of the way that it built a lot of self-worth within me. The lot of kind of interactions, irrespective of the hierarchy in which I was placed, and the kind of people I was interacting, irrespective of the higher positions that they hold in the hierarchy, the way they came across and were easy to get along with. So this was very, very wonderful experience for me, very, very enriching experience for me. Going forward, in March to 1998, when I got a call from Railways that I have to come and join, it was a very tough decision because I was pursuing my college education through distance learning. That was a bachelor's degree in business administration. So along with that, I was also pursuing my cost and work accountancy. So I was thinking whether I should actually join Railways or I should continue with this, because there was a very strong pull factor from the company saying that we want you to remain here and we want you to complete your education in terms of degree, and once you complete your professional education, you have very good career path with us. Why don't you stay on? But at that point of time, it was a big difference in the kind of salary that you make from where I was, and in my situation in which my family was. I thought it would be better that I take the job with Railways. So that's how I decided. But even when they gave farewell to me, they did tell me that once you complete your professional education, our doors are open for you. At any point of time, we'll be happy to have you back. So that was an experience which I would always hold dear to me, because it taught me a lot of things, and it made me to a large extent what I was or what I am till today. So March 1998, I joined railways. I joined in a place called Tanjavur, and I was a relieving clerk under a commercial inspector, so what we call RCCMI. And I that was the first time I'm living. So many of us have had the same experience. I'm living outside my home, trying to work and trying to manage my work, and more importantly, trying to manage myself independently. And I have to think a lot about how I was able to manage those days, initial days, trying to get over the homesickness. And I would like to thank profusely my senior third batch friend Karthik, who was like a senior in terms of occupant of the place that he shared with us as roommate, and along with another friend of ours. And he taught us a lot of things, like me and my other roommate. And it was with him, it was very nice to share almost a year of being with him, living in close quarters, trying to learn from how you manage the very unique beast called railways, how to kind of find your feet there, how to work with people, whether it is your fellow booking clerk who has had 30 years of experience or so, or your SEP or station master from nearby station. I worked mostly as RCCMI in all the CNC stations between Tanjavur to Kumbakonam and Tanjavur to Tiruvarur sections. And there again, you are all alone. Although it's a railway station, they call it clerk in charge railway stations, but we call it commander in chief of railway stations, because you are the only person there issuing tickets, opening and locking the stations, even kind of giving signals to the passing trains, and also, if need be, even cleaning up the stations when the SCP is not coming. So that again was a very, very different experience from what I've had in the private setting, because the attitudes people have are, if not entirely different, are like a sea change from what we are facing in a private setting. So that this mix of what we had in private kind of a setup, and when we are exposed to railways, these are like an interesting contradiction. And they also give you kind of a difference in perspective how people approach work, and this also helps in understanding things better. So that has helped me. And living alone or with the roommates, as I told, also helped me manage independently, and trying to understand how you have to manage your own self on a daily basis. So the initial 2 years, 1 year I was working in Tanjavur, the next year I was working in Tirutani, which is like about a couple of hours from Chennai by train. So those 2 years when I was living away from home, that helped me to shape myself in terms of how do you manage your time between your work and your own personal pursuits in terms of education or even entertainment, or keeping yourself fit. Or I failed in most of the things in terms of I did manage work much well, but in terms of education, I had a slip up in those 2 years. I could not pursue much of education. I was nominally pursuing my cost and work accountancy, but I could not clear any of my papers. So the third year, I got a transfer to Chennai. I started working in Chennai Park Station in the first 2 years, and then till 2006, when I got civil service entry, then I was working in a place called Headquarters Commercial Control in the Chennai zonal headquarters. So during these years, the first 2 years I was seriously pursuing my cost and work accountancy, and thereafter again I have to thank my fellow batchmate Ram Sundar, who suggested that I should study civil services, and a senior, again a third batch senior and a second batch senior, who happened to guide me that civil services is something that I could pursue. And they were the ones who are like primarily responsible for me being where I am today, because they were one showed me the path that this is something that I could pursue given my interest. Plus, the third batch senior's name is Krishna, and the second batch senior's name is Sangeeta. She is again an IAS in Chhattisgarh. She is a senior in civil services also. So she was part of my team in Chennai Park, and thereafter she had cleared Group 1 in Tamil Nadu Civil Services, and she had started a employment exchange based study group for civil services, and she was a major mentor for me. And I had to go through this interesting time schedule when I was working in commercial control and in Chennai Park. I used to do daily night shifts because several colleagues did not prefer night shifts, so I used to do night shifts on a daily basis. And it's like 7 to 7 or 8 to 8 depending on what place you're working in. And after 8 o'clock you go back home, get ready quickly, then reach for a class at around 10:30 or 11, where in the study group we have the civil service coaching, and that happens till lunchtime. And lunch you have there only. And from thereafter I used to go to a district library where there is another specialized place for civil service preparation material. So from lunchtime, post lunchtime till evening, say 6:30 or 7, I used to sit and study there for civil services. And thereafter from there, have some dinner nearby and go directly to the night duty. So the entire day goes like this: do night duty between 7 to 7 or 8 to 8, go home, freshen up, have your breakfast, then reach your civil services coaching class, which happens between 10:30 or so to lunchtime. Then have lunch there, then either maybe study a bit there only with friends, or go to library where you continue studying there, and reach for office from there only. So even after reaching office, commercial control, I used to have some 2-3 hours of free time till midnight. So I used to revise whatever I could study during the day, and type out these on my computer, create notes from what I have studied, which I could share with my friends also. Then my I got to sleep for 1 hour or 2 hours. Then again go from morning, you have to start around 4:30 to take positions and complete your work till 7:30 or 8. Then from there this rigmarole starts, like go home, go sleeping, get ready, go to class, then have lunch, go to the library, study or study circle study, then go to the office. This happens on 5 days a week. On Saturday, the day off, and the Sunday, you kind of catch up on your sleep. It's like more eat sleep. In between you get some entertainment. This happened for almost 2-3 years, because I cleared my civil services in my third attempt. That was in 2006. And now you sit back and see, like, the time you spend like actually sleeping during those years seems very little, and you kind of wonder whether we did it actually. But when you actually go through the rigmarole, you always seem to have these times for entertainment in between this, or having good time with friends in between this, because most of us are studying together and having fun together. And also, like, you are able to do your work at office also quite well. So it was like a very interesting kind of a time, which went in like you never know how quickly time flies. So that's how so I couldn't clear my prelims examination in the first 2 attempts, and in the third attempt I could clear my mains and interview also. So that's how I became from a VCRCN to an IRS officer. I think that's quite a long narration. Thank you.
Thank you for sparing your valuable time for VCRCN.